What's up, guys? It's Thursday night. It's the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig, and you're very welcome along to the Late Night Agenda here on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. I hope you're all keeping well. It's been a really busy day for me. Not too much action in the Premier League, as we know, just Southampton's game against West Ham. But we have a lot of Liverpool stuff to get through. There's the nonsense with Mo Salah and the whole diving thing. There's millions and millions of other little bits and pieces as well. I'm going to jump straight into the chat and say hello to everybody. How are we? Sam, Amir, Adam, Frankie, Luke, Everton sucks, Ferno, and anybody else that I've missed out on that's in the chat. How the hell are we? Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you've had a wonderful day. Look, I've got an agenda ready for tonight's show, and I thought we could start about talking around this whole bullshit around the Mohamed Salah diving thing. I've seen everybody, every non-entity, every unimportant person and their fucking brother and sister coming out to have their opinion on this one. And it's absolute nonsense. I've seen ex-Everton captains coming out and saying that this should only happen to the little clubs and big clubs get away with murder and blah 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 fucking blah. Look, at the end of the day, was it a soft penalty? Yes. Did he dive? 100% no. Was there contact? Yes. Did the Sky bring on Dermot Gallagher to try and talk about it, to try and see if it was a penalty or not? Yes, they did. And what did Dermot Gallagher say? Dermot Gallagher decided that it was a penalty. It was the correct decision. There was sufficient evidence there, or sufficient contact with his arm from Mohamed Salah at that speed to go to ground. Now, there you go. That should be case closed. But no, unfortunately, guys, that isn't case closed because he's not English. And that's the reason behind it. Harry Kane does this week in, week out. Dele Alli does it. Other English players do it. And what's it called when English players do it? It's called cleverness. That's what it is. It's called being clever. But when a Liverpool player does it, or a foreign player does it, oh, the cheating bastards, get them out of the league. There's no place for this. Look, the contact was there. He went down. Now, just to kind of put Mo Salah's character into question is bad enough. But let's talk about the challenge by Steve Cook in the Bournemouth game. Mo Salah clean through on goal. Steve Cook comes flying in, rakes his studs down his Achilles. Salah could have went down, possibly got Steve Cook sent off, but no. He stayed on his feet like the honest pro that he is, and he kept going through, and he scored. Fair fucks to him, he scored that goal. Also against Napoli, he went around a spina. He could have went down after contact. He didn't. He stayed on his feet. So for Mo Salah to be hounded the way some people have over the past 24 hours for a penalty that, well, there was a little bit, but not this kind of Ferrari that we're seeing now around Mohamed Salah. This type of shit needs to stop. The amount of fucking people that just want to derail what's happening at Liverpool needs to stop. What I find very sickening about this entire situation is we all know that this is because people have it in for Liverpool, and they hide behind this guise of, oh, we'll never hear the fucking end of it if Liverpool win the league. They'll never let us live it down. We'll hear about this for the next 25 years, yada yada fucking yada. Look, at the end of the day, these fuckers want Manchester City to win the league. They want a club that constantly cheats and breaks the rules financially to win the league. They want a club who has stuck two fingers up to every other Premier League club as they've broken the rules, as they've broken financial fair play, as they've cheated their way around image and rights, and they've cheated their way around contracts and sponsorship deals and how many seats are sold in their stadium and all this other stuff that will be proven down the line. But now let's all hide behind the guise of saying allegedly they've done all this stuff. We know damn well that we should be held up as not a beacon of hope, because that's over dramatic. We should be held up as a club who have gone about their business, done things the right way and built for this success. Liverpool didn't just go out and buy this overnight. This has been the work of 3 years investment from the owners, 3 years work from the manager, 3 years players brought in by Michael Edwards and the staff. This has been a long time coming. I had to take a breath there because I was getting a little bit too built up. This has been a long time coming for this football club. And I don't give a fuck if ex-Everton captains come into the news and say, oh, Mo Salah should be done for diving. Fuck you, you're irrelevant. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about Manchester City fans or Spurs fans or Manchester United fans or whoever else it might be coming out to have a dig, because at the end of the day, every single one of these fuckers are doing it because of one thing and one thing only. They're on there ranting and raving and talking about it and calling us bin dippers and hiding behind the fact that they say they'll never hear the end of it and that they want Spurs to win the league or they want City to win the league. It all comes from one thing, one word. It all comes from one word, and that word, ladies and gentlemen, is fear. Because these fuckers are petrified. They are petrified of what's happening at Liverpool Football Club. They are petrified that we're doing things the right way. They're looking at their own clubs and they're going, oh shit, maybe we're not. United have spent £200 million more in the time that we've had Klopp at the club when they had Mourinho. They spent 200 million quid more and they're down the shitter. Spurs, credit where it's due. Spurs are doing things the right way. The club is run really well. They're building a new stadium. Nothing but respect for them. Whatever I think about their fans and the throwing bananas at Arsenal players and all that stuff, the club itself, like Liverpool, they're trying to do things the right way. They're trying to cut their cloth accordingly. And that's to be commended. Whether you're a Spurs fan or not, that's to be commended. Same with Liverpool, same with many other clubs in the league. But I'm not going to put up and listen to this shite week after week after week. How? In what planet do other clubs' fans want a cheating club to win? A club that just spits in their face and breaks the rules, has set ridiculous standards for the cost of transfers for players, £50 million fullbacks, ridiculous amounts of fucking every other position on the field. And they want those guys to win the league. That's how bitter these fuckers are. Liverpool have done it the right way. Now this was the very, very unusual start to a show for me. I never usually start with a rant. I usually come straight in and have some fun and see how everybody's feeling. And I couldn't today. I couldn't because I've been spending the last 24 hours dealing with this shit and answering people and fucking coming back at people who are accusing Salah of this, Liverpool of that. It's all bollocks. It's all absolute nonsense. Now to say hello, Charlene, how are you? October, great to hear you're in Liverpool. I hope you have a fantastic time over there. I'm very well, Scotty, thank you. And happy Virgil van Dijk Day, said Ferno. As you can see there on the image on tonight's stream, well, the image inside tonight's stream, the thumbnail's obviously Mohamed Salah. Virgil van Dijk, 19 appearances, 116, 3 draws this season, 1 goal, 1 assist, 102 accurate long balls, 79% tackle success, 50% head to clearance, or 50 head to clearances, 67% aerial duels won, and zero errors leading to goals. Virgil van Dijk, ladies and gentlemen, has roughly been at Liverpool Football Club a year. He signed on the 30th of January last year, or December, excuse me. The deal was agreed the 30th of December. Here we are almost a year later and the transformation has been outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. I have a few bits and pieces around this that I'll go to as the stream goes on. I want to get to you guys and see how you're all feeling. It's been a crazy 24 hours. I don't know if you've digested the fact that Liverpool are 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League, 7 clear of Manchester City. I hope you have. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you had some fun times with your family over the past 24 hours. Mo's critics are just jealous, said Stephen Richards. Oil being exposed, said Red Tick Gaming. Siraj said it's because we're top of the league they want something to say. Exactly. They're absolute fucking assholes. I mean, I don't know what this... I understand it from United fans. Of course I do. I understand it from Everton fans. Of course I do. But all these City fans tried to hide behind it. And they've one go-to answer. Every time. They either go to Hillsborough or they put up this thing that said, what's Liverpool's most famous every year next year? That's all they have. That's all they have. Because Manchester City don't have a history. It's all driven by Sky Sports. That whoring excuse of a news channel of Murdoch, said Steve Lyons. Hello Craig, said Colin Falvey. How are you, sir? Are Tottenham title contenders? You'd have to say yes, but I don't think that they'll be there long. I don't think they'll be there come the end of the season, Harren. But look, they have to be respected. They're a fantastic side with a great manager. They play some good attacking football. They're fairly solid. And they're there by merit. So you've got to show respect to them. They deserve to be where they are on the table. The league table doesn't lie. Somebody shouted out in the pub that Leicester beat City. The whole place went mental, said October. I couldn't believe that result. I really couldn't. I think... Tony said, I think he kind of dived. That's my opinion. There was a bit of contract. Sure, the Newcastle fellow went round Salah the other way to make it look like he didn't touch him. Look, it was a soft penalty, Tony. I said it at the time and I'm going to say it again. I believe that penalty was a soft penalty. But whether it was or wasn't, to call him a diver, to accuse him of diving like there was absolutely no contact, that's what you're saying. When somebody dives, you're saying there was no contact there whatsoever. I could show you 15 or 20 other images of the past 12 months. Probably at least 3 or 4 of them, including Harry Kane. Look at the penalty he conceded against us last year where he went over the keeper. And suddenly it was, oh no, there was momentum there. There was intent. If he hadn't have jumped over the keeper, there would have been contact. All that type of bollocks comes out when it's one of the media darlings. But when it's Liverpool and the agenda isn't quite what they want, then it's completely different. Like already I'm seeing stuff about Manchester United and about Pogba and about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and about this resurgence of the sleeping giant and all this bollocks that the media want to put out there. And look, fair fucks to Manchester United. If they go on and have a good end to the season, best of luck to them. If we win against Arsenal and City, we win the league, said VA. What else we got? I've just bet Liverpool to go and win the league unbeaten, said Scotty. Craig, if we win the league, there should be a Michael Edwards statue outside the main stand. Just, by the way, for anyone who is in and around Liverpool or whatever, myself and Connor have tonight, just literally tonight, booked our flights and our hotel for the last day of the season. So we're going to be in Liverpool. We're rolling the dice that it's going to be a momentous day. So we've booked our flights, we've booked our accommodation, and Connor and myself will be in Liverpool for the last day of the season. I'm not expecting to be able to get a match ticket, I've got to be honest, but even being in the city for that day is something that we have to do. So if anybody wants to meet up that day, we want to celebrate, we're going to do something together, maybe we can all watch the last game together or whatever, let us know, and we're happy to meet up and do that because we're there to celebrate. And we're rolling the dice that we're going to fucking do it. That's how much belief we have. We put our money where our mouth is, and we've booked it, and we're going to be there, and I cannot wait. Either way, it'll be brilliant to be in the city, but hopefully it's for a trophy lifting. Harry Kane makes a living through diving, says, yeah sir, his take on it is, why should I move out of the way? That's when he's not claiming goals that weren't his as well. What else have we got? Mo didn't dive, Newcastle player pulled him back while he was running. Clearly, Stephen, he clearly grabbed his arm, it's as clear as day. The English press love Kane, they really do. They love him a bit fucking too much, that's the thing. And I've no problem with him. He's the English poster boy. I've no problem with them having a bit of an extra love in for Kane. But some of the hypocrisy that comes out in the media is just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want Liverpool to get special attention. I don't want Liverpool to be fucking have smoke blown up their ass. But what I do want is a level playing field in the media for our football club. And I don't want people to try and undermine us at every single opportunity just because our team are fucking fantastic and our manager has done things the right way and our club has gotten to the top the right way. By selling players sometimes and investing that money wisely and buying other players. By doing well in the European competitions, getting to finals, bringing in advanced sponsorship, selling out week after week after week at Anfield, having a worldwide fan base that is happy to dip into their pockets to buy merchandise, to buy kits, to buy this other type of stuff, to sell memberships from the fan base. Liverpool have brought in their money the right way. The club is being run the right way. Even the whole fucking what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Sky Sports News tonight. Mo Salah escapes punishment. Escapes FA punishment. He escaped fuck all because he didn't do anything. It was a penalty. He scored. End of. There's no, he didn't escape jack shit because he didn't fucking do anything. There was an FA review on Kane's dive at Anfield last year, or was there an FA? I have no idea. I doubt it, but I've no idea. Whenever Neymar dives, nobody cares, but when Mo Salah gets pulled back by a Newcastle player, they all want him banned, said Everton sucks Liverpool for the win. The media's agenda is Spurs. They big them up so much, but credit to them. Look, I've nothing against Spurs whatsoever. As I said, great manager, club being run the right way, doing things their own way. Fair fucks to them. I love the way Tim Sherwood and Craig Bellamy are constantly talking about Manchester City in third, but not a word about us. Earlier on, Evan, I was watching Sky Sports and they're saying, this is the exact quote as I remember it. We have a title race on, ladies and gentlemen. Spurs have moved 1 point ahead of Manchester City into second place in the Premier League. Not a fucking dicky word about Liverpool. Not a single word. So the title race they're talking about doesn't include the league leaders apparently because we weren't worth a mention. It was all about Spurs and Manchester City. Absolutely. You couldn't make the stuff up. Mincy said, as an Englishman, I've respect for Kane for what he's done for England, but all his goals are tap-ins and a lot of 7 to claim somebody else's goals. Look, again, with Harry Kane, he has to be in the right place to score. I'm only using him as an example for the diving thing. I've got no agenda against Harry Kane. He's a fantastic footballer. I mean, I tell the truth on here, or at least I think I tell the truth. I try to tell the truth. I'm not going to come on and just badmouth Harry Kane, but he is a diver. Dele Alli is a diver. Raheem Sterling is a diver. And look, have Liverpool players dived before you? Bet your ass they have. I still to this day reckon Steven Gerrard dived in the Champions League final to get that penalty. Fuck it, he got it. He got away with it. People want to call us out, I'm not trying to say that Liverpool players' shit doesn't stink, or that Liverpool haven't been diving at stages before. Absolutely, every club does it. But what I'm saying is, you can't just pick out certain things and say, oh, this is it. I mean, the one I spoke about with the Everton captain guys. It was ex-Everton captain Johnny Who Gives a Fuck, because I can't even remember the guy's name. That's how irrelevant he is. And they were saying, oh, Sean Dyche is going to be spitting feathers. How could Mo Salah have gotten away with this? The bottom clubs don't get away with it. Only the top clubs get away with it. And you just see this kind of narrative that the media runs with. That's complete bollocks. I want Thorgan Hazard at Liverpool. Like Eden, he's more intelligent. Ferno, it looks like Thorgan Hazard is going to be the subject of a bid from Borussia Dortmund. They're looking at him as a replacement for Christian Pulisic. I think I spoke about this one maybe a few nights ago, buddy. Yeah, so it makes sense. And I've got a bit of news, by the way, on Christian Pulisic later on as well. What else have we got here? Man City don't have any history. They don't. Fuck their history. They don't have any. Their history is Sean Golder and fucking Paul Dickoff. That's their history. Arctic Gaming said, full media blackout on us, Muppets. Did you watch the West Ham Southampton match? Pretty good. What's this? Pretty good half. 2-1 to West Ham. It was 2-1 last I'd seen with 80 minutes gone. Then I switched over to the darts and watched an amazing game between Gary Anderson and Chris Dobie, which was just fantastic. Norbert Chong said, I am a muff diver. Congratulations to you, sir. I wish you the best of luck in your diving expertise and experiences. My prediction is 3-1 against Arsenal. Said Everton sucks, Liverpool for the win. We'll go through the predictions in the Arsenal game a little bit later on, guys. There's a bit for us to get through on tonight, because we started off about our little rant, and we kind of segued into Virgil van Dijk, and that's where I want to go next, if that's okay with everybody, because it seems a natural progression. We've had a rant, now let's have a bit of a gloat. Virgil van Dijk came to Liverpool roughly a year ago, as we know, for £75 million, which was a record for a defender at the time. Now here we are 1 year down the line, and that £75 million looks like a bargain. It looks like free money almost at this point. It's ridiculous. The guy has come in that year and he has transformed Liverpool's defence. Now, he hasn't done that on his own. Of course he hasn't. There's other players there. But what he has done, I believe, is brought those other players on and helped them progress. He's brought a calmness to that Liverpool back four and a winning mentality. And yes, he is a leader. I've heard people often call for him to be Liverpool captain. And you know what? Maybe down the line, I've got no problem with that. But either way, he is a natural leader. Whether he's on the field with an armband on or not, he is a leader. And he has given confidence and brought the likes of Dejan Lovren on. He's given, obviously he's helped Joe Gomez immensely. Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Joe Matip. Anybody that's played alongside him has improved. And if you would have told me 12 months ago that 12 months on, Liverpool would have been halfway through a league campaign, have 12 clean sheets, only have conceded 7 league goals, be unbeaten, be top of the Premier League, have won 16 games and drawn 3, and nobody would have scored more than 1 goal against us in the Premier League this season, I would have thought you were mad. Absolutely mad. And that's down to, in the whole, for me, Virgil van Dijk. He has been amazing since he's come to this football club. When you spend that much money on a player, when you're breaking world records, you hope that they hit the ground running. And you hope that you get quality for money. Well, my God, folks, my God. With Virgil van Dijk, we have, in my humble opinion, the best defender currently playing his trade in world football. He is stupendous. Absolutely fantastic. Right, what do you guys think about Van Dijk? Van Dijk is a colossus, said Yasser. You're a better pundit than Phil Neville. Phil Neville is an absolute waste of an existence. I don't like that guy one bit. He shouldn't have got the job that he was in as the English national team manager. There was people far more qualified than him for that job. His punditry skills are shocking. Absolutely shocking. He hadn't got a patch on his brother as a footballer. But look, he was obviously a good footballer to get to the level that he got to. But his punditry is shy. Absolutely shy. Cahill said, I prefer press talking about City and Spurs rather than us. As Klopp said, we do our thing, don't care about others. Cahill, mate, I've got no problem about them not talking about us. That's sound. What I do have a problem with is them trying to undermine us by making up shit to try and derail us. I mean, I can go through transfer links and that as well that I've seen over the past 24 hours that are trying to say that For French Football, or whatever the fuck it's called, that ridiculous site, said again today that PSG want to try and bring Fabinho in on loan in January, but because he's playing at Liverpool now, that may not be possible. Fuck off. Just fuck off. That was never happening, and it certainly isn't happening now. Why would Liverpool spend 45 million quid on a player and loan him out to Paris Saint-Germain? That makes absolutely no sense. These fuckers just make shit up. I've seen stories linking Mohamed Salah to Real Madrid. Stories linking Bobby Firmino and Mane to Barcelona. It's just absolute nonsense. I cried when Van Dijk signed. I wanted him at the club since 2015, said Ben. Guys, look, if you're watching, as you can see, we're edging towards 6,500 subscribers. So if you're new, please do hit that subscribe button and please drop a like on the stream. I really, really, really wanted to try and get to 6.5k tonight. So if you're watching, be an absolute superstar. Hit that subscribe button and join this little Anfield Agenda family. Lovren's goal, said Cryptic Game, and what a beauty that was. What a beauty that was. I mean, half volley, top corner. I loved the way he said usually that would have went up into the stands. I loved that he had that honesty about him to say that. It was a fantastic strike. And yesterday's game was a thoroughly professional performance. Again, just want to get through some more of your Van Dijk comments. Van Dijk is the best defender in the world. £75 million is a bargain, said Christopher. Thank you for that one, pal. Phil Neville sucks granny tits with his mate Wayne Rooney. Again, folks, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading out the comments. Doing my civic duty here, reading out comments. I feel like I've come into this stream at 100 miles an hour now and there's nowhere to go. I'm trying to calm back down and relax a bit. Craig, I'd love to meet you in Liverpool and mate to celebrate this amazing club's success. Adam, it would be my pleasure, pal. Anybody that wants to come in May, if anyone's going to be in the city and they want to meet up with myself and Connor, it would be our pleasure. We hope to do an end of season, I won't say show because that kind of makes us sound like we're big headed assholes. I just want to meet up with people and film together and get faces for names and do as much stuff as we can. We'll film the day right from our airport run right through to us landing in Liverpool and that day and wherever we watch the game and that night and the celebrations. And we're going to make a proper, I don't want to say documentary, but that's kind of where we'll go with this. So if anyone's around or anyone's going to be in the city and they can think of a venue or somewhere we could all meet up, maybe we get a function room or something, I don't know. But it would be absolutely amazing to celebrate that end of season with you guys. And we've lots of time to work it out. Our flights are booked. We're coming in on the Sunday because all the last games of the season are on a Sunday. So we're coming in the Sunday morning and we're going home on the Monday morning, I think. So we've got just a full 24 hours in there. Rooney's in Panto playing himself, Shrek. Any news on Brewster, asked Nima. Not that I've heard of, but he has been back doing a little bit of training, so I would hope possibly the end of January. Could be wrong on that one though, Nima, so please don't hold me to that. Fabinho on loan. African websites pretending to be French. It's that FFN, is it for French news or French football news, or like they've got a pretty big following. I think they've got like 130,000 followers on Twitter or something. I swear to God, I think it's a parody account at this point, some of the nonsense they come out with. Craig, no player would want to leave this season, said Stephen Richards. Why would they, pal? You're right. This club is immense. This club is going the right way. It's madness. It's absolute madness. And I think that Liverpool, in a title race, would suddenly start loaning now 40, 45 million pound midfielders to Paris Saint-Germain, who obviously the two games we had against them were horrendous. Horrible games to watch because they spent so much time cheating, diving, and rolling around. There's no way Liverpool are going to loan a player to them. It's just not going to happen. What else we got? Phantom Cross, how are you, sir? He said, can't stay long. CIA tomorrow night. CIA, mate. I don't know if I'm missing something. CIA's gone over my head. Come on, let's get 6.6 subs tonight. That's not going to happen. But if we can get to 6.5, that would be amazing. Craig, I live right by the airport. Me and Louise could meet you and Connor, said Stephen Richards. That would be cool, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you want to come and meet us at the airport, buddy, no problem. But we're getting there nice and early. I think our flight comes in at like 8:30 or something like that. Do you think Alisson will get the golden glove? Oh, Tom, absolutely, buddy. I really do. What, 12 clean sheets so far this season. I don't know who his nearest rival is though, but you'd surely think he'd go on to get it. He deserves it. And so does that defence. When a goalkeeper gets a golden glove, it really isn't just for himself, it's for the entire back five. FFN just reports stuff from around France, a bit like Anfield HQ, but in France. Yeah, I'll bite my tongue on that one for now. Van Dijk must be considered for player of the season. He'd have to be up there. Our two Dutch players have been our best this year, said Siraj. They've been quality, absolute quality, very consistent as well, both of them. Cahill said VVD is legit candidate for player of the year if we win the league, and I can see Alisson with a nomination too. But Hazard will get it Because Hazard scored 100 goals in 6 years. Do you not understand that that's how this works? Hazard scores 100 goals in 6 years and he's suddenly the best player in the world. Paul Pogba scored 2 against Huddersfield and did some ridiculous fucking dance after one of his goals. And he's nailed on for the Ballon d'Or now as well. It's fucking madness the way the media go on. Klopp hates PSG. He won't pick up the phone. I don't blame him. I think most people hate PSG. They're another group of cheating bastards. Hi Craig, late joining. Did I hear something about 6 points? What was it about 6 points? Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard, but we're top of the league, mate. 6 points clear of Spurs, 7 clear of Manchester City. You know that little club from up the road. Only 9 away from 6.5k, said Charlene. I'm sure we can try and get there on this stream. We have to get there. What do you think about Bayern, said Cryptic Gaming? I think it's going to be a really, really tough game. Or 2 games, I should say. But I honestly feel we'll get there. I think we're a better team than Bayern Munich at this moment. They're going through, is it fair to say, a bit of a transitional period. A lot of their players seem to be on the wrong side of 30. The second game in the Allianz Arena away, it's going to be tough. But it's 2 games of football to look forward to. And I think 2 games that we're going to enjoy watching. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita and Fabinho midfield, said Dan. Which, you know, mate, that looks very tasty indeed. If we go unbeaten, we'll be the greatest side ever, said Majestic Euro. If Matt, my I won't say thoughts because it's a little bit too far fetched, but my dream would be for us, you know, to go unbeaten. And look, I still don't think we will, but if we go unbeaten and broke 101 points, that they'd have to call us the best Premier League team ever then, because we'll have gone unbeaten and broken a points record. I still don't think we're going to break 100 points, by the way. I think we'll win the league. I really do think we'll win the league, but I don't see us breaking 100 points. Got blocked by a Man City fan today for mentioning the league table, said Will. James Pearce mugged off GFFN. Good, because they're fucking idiots. I don't blame him. He's right to be mugging them off. Good man, James Pearce. Messi scores 91 goals in a season. Hazard scored 106 years. It's ridiculous. You couldn't make this stuff up, Ben. He's a club legend for scoring 100 goals in 6 years. I mean, if Mo Salah doesn't score that in 2.5 years, he'll be deemed a failure. It's crazy stuff. Imagine we were sitting here in 4 more years' time talking about Mo Salah almost hitting 100 goals. I mean, Mo Salah will do that in 3 seasons tops. PSG Olympic diving team. What's the score? Moreno's comments. Yeah, I wanted to come on to that one actually, so thank you for bringing that one up. I just want to pull up the exact quotes because I don't want to be misquoting the guy. So let me just pull up the quote. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about here, so I'll just bring up the quotes from Moreno. He was interviewed by, I think it was a Spanish paper or something, and he was asked about his time at Liverpool. And he said, I do not feel good, that's the truth. I hurt myself giving everything for this team, and I think that when I came back from injury, I deserved an opportunity. The situation is normal for a lot of players, but simply did not like the way he, and in brackets it has Jurgen Klopp, has treated me, you can say that. Moving back to Spain is something I've thought about. I'm tired of the cold here, but I don't know about interest from other clubs. I'm in my 5th year here. There's no agreement on a renewal in January. I'm free to listen to any offers. So where do we go with that except see ya, Alberto. Adios, mate. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I don't know what to say. I mean, just shut the fuck up, mate, is basically what I'd say there. Stop giving interviews. You're a Liverpool footballer. We did not see this sit from Emre Can. As much as people spoke badly about Emre Can when he left, he left as a thorough professional. He shut his fucking mouth. He did his time at Liverpool Football Club and he went off and signed his deal. So for Alberto Moreno to suddenly think he deserves a start in this team is a fucking joke. I would sit that prick down and I would show him the Europa League final against Sevilla. And I'll say, I'll tell you what you deserve, Alberto, and there isn't a new fucking deal, mate. It's a slap across the head for that performance. Because your performance there almost single-handedly screwed us over in that Europa League final. And I could show him the other 20 or 25 times that he switched off and been caught out of position and it's cost Liverpool a goal. And then I'd ask him why he thinks he gets to go and talk badly about Jurgen Klopp, a manager who has brought on every other player that he's worked with, a manager who has turned players into superstars, a manager who has brought the best out of Andy Robertson, who came from Hull, Trent Alexander-Arnold, got Clyne playing even better. And then ask him why he thinks he can talk about that manager while he's still under contract at this football club. There's a reason Alberto Moreno isn't playing at Liverpool at the minute, and that's because of Alberto Moreno. It's because he hasn't got a brain in his fucking head, and he hasn't got positional sense at all. I always said that Alberto Moreno would be a decent wing back in a team that likes to attack, and he doesn't have much defending to do because he's got pace, he's got a good left foot on him, and he's capable of going forward. But for him to have come out with that nonsense, and I want to be careful here because I don't. When you see things like this attributed from a friend or from a foreign media outlet, sometimes things are translated a little bit loosely. But this has been reported by numerous people. So if this is the case, if that is exactly what he said, or even near what he said, then as far as I'm concerned, he can fuck off. I mean, he can just sit there and rot until his contract is up. I'd love to know what you guys think about this one, because I don't like any player speaking out about this football club when they've anything negative to say. We've seen Dejan Lovren absolutely crucified by some of our fans for saying that he believes the team could perhaps go and become unbeaten for the entire season. That's what we should be aspiring to do. I mean, he probably shouldn't have said it. Maybe he should have just said, you know, we'll take it one game at a time. All the professional stuff that you expect. But at least he was projecting positivity out there. We've got Alberto Moreno, the little fucking monkey tattooed fucking arsehole from Spain, suddenly coming out and thinking he can badmouth the manager and talk about this football club and say that he believes he was mistreated. Fuck off. Absolute nonsense. The reason Moreno isn't playing is because he's not good enough. And that's down to nobody else but him. Exactly, Craig. We don't see Kleiny complaining, said Cameron. Very good. Very, very good point, Cameron. I mean, that's spot on, mate. And Nathaniel Klein has missed probably more deserving opportunities than Alberto Moreno. And we haven't heard a word from Kleiny in public. So that's a really good way of putting it, buddy. I feel bad for Moreno. He's worked his heart out for Liverpool Football Club. So if you guys think you can do better, how about you try and play in the Champions League? Hang on, let me read this again. Am I reading this correctly? I feel so bad for Moreno. He's worked his heart out for Liverpool Football Club. So if you guys think you can do better, how about you try and play in the Champions League? Mate, you've lost me. Honest to God, you've lost me on that one. If you feel bad for Moreno, that's your own personal thing, but I don't understand the rest of your comment. Craig Klein proved yesterday that he's above Moreno in the pecking order, even at left back. Moreno can't defend or attack, said Free Trickers. Robbo is better than him by far. He absolutely is. I mean, there's no doubt in that. Andy Robertson is head and shoulders above Alberto Moreno. But Alberto Moreno had his chance. Alberto Moreno went through a period before Andy Robertson really settled into the team where he was playing okay. He was doing alright. But like anybody else, when you lose the shirt, it's up to you to try and get it back. And he hasn't got it back because Andy Robertson's been too damn good. And that's tough shit. Moreno's a left back with no defence, said Cryptic Gaming. Alberto Moreno hasn't got a braino, said Brian Morrissey. I want my left back to be able to defend first and foremost. Unfortunately, Albie doesn't fall into that category, said Graham Holmes. Which I agree, Graham. I agree. You do want your defenders to be able to defend. It's what we've spoken about a couple of times with Nathaniel Klein when people said, look, he's good at defending, but he's not great at going forward. I mean, that's been really critical because you do want your fullbacks to be able to defend. But in this day and age, ideally, they'd be able to do both, which is what we have with the two that we currently use. Didn't Emre Can say he wants to go to a bigger club while still at Liverpool? Not that I heard, Andre. Honestly, mate, not that I'd heard, and I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying it's not something that I've read. I can see him going back to Sevilla. All he seems to do now is moan. I don't abuse him, any other LFC player, but goddamn, he needs to shut the fuck up, said Charlene. Robertson is 50 times better than Moreno will ever be. What else have we got? We owe everything to Klopp. He's rebuilt us like a modern day Bill Shankly. Screw Moreno. Alberto Moreno's a decent backup, but he just doesn't cut it. Moreno's only good for telling jokes to Firmino and Fabinho, said Andre. Moreno was drunk. Go home, Moreno. Thomas Gaming, how are you, buddy? No need to apologise for being late. Great to have you with us. Imagine feeling sorry for a multi-millionaire. Yeah, kind of. Sometimes I draw the line at that one, Adam, mate, because if a player has a mental health issue or something like that, then I think it's perfectly acceptable to have some sympathy for a player because he's a human being first and foremost. But when you're perfectly healthy like Moreno is and you're just bitching because you're not good enough, then yeah, there's no point in feeling sorry for him. He is sitting there pulling in a damn fine wage and he is a multi-millionaire, as you said. Moreno is decent at attacking but pure liability in defence, said Yasser. If he was played further up the pitch, he wouldn't be as calamitous. What else have we got? He's free agent in the summer. Yes, he is, mate. He is. Sorry, for those that don't know, actually, I should have reiterated that. He is a free agent in the summer. He can start talking to teams outside of England from January onwards. So you will probably see him either sign a pre-contract agreement with somebody, or you'll hear of him linked with clubs back in Spain or something. Bring back Wilson for squad depth, said Kevin. Our first team is made out of captains, which is nice, Nima, isn't it? It's really nice to see. In this day and age, it's kind of what you need. And if you look back to the best Liverpool teams down the years, they have had teams full of leaders. I remember so many times over the past few years, I've been on podcasts or I've been writing articles or talking to people, and I've been just screaming about having no leaders, or not enough leaders, or not enough winners. And now look at our 11, we definitely have that. Bravo was a bargain. What a bargain. What a bargain, Skeleton, mate. It was a Kevin Stewart swap, basically, which is ridiculous when you think about it. Any news on Pulisic to Liverpool? Yes, Christopher, I do have a little bit, mate. It's on my notes here and I'll go through it in a little bit. I think transfers are the next topic I have down to go through. Let me just double check, hang on. There's one more thing and then I've got transfers, mate, but I will get to it soon, don't worry. Should sign a contract as a comedian for Liverpool. I would take the left back from Fulham, Sessegnon. He's not really a left back, Scotty. That's the thing. Ryan Sessegnon's a left-sided midfielder or even a winger. He'd be like Alberto Moreno is now, in the sense that he can't defend as well as you need to. But Ryan Sessegnon is an amazing footballer, and any team would do well to have him in their squad. But I just want to kind of make the point that he isn't really a left back. He's been utilised there by Fulham at times, but he's not an actual left back. Moreno's Christmas song is class, though. It is pretty good, Charlene, to be fair. I've played that to my wife about 20 times this Christmas so far, that little Moreno Merry Christmas song. Okay, a few more things to get through. I think Moreno gets unnecessary stick from fans. He was a winger and has been played out of position. He's a better wing back. This channel is better than the United stand. Keep up the good work, said Skeleton. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a massive compliment. Obviously the United stand, for United fans mainly, is a very, very popular channel, so thank you for that one. LFC_5. I like the fact that you've stuck up for Moreno there, mate, and you've never heard me speaking about Moreno, in a derogatory manner until this came out. And once this came out, as far as I was concerned, the gloves were off, because he's trying to undermine our manager and our team at a really crucial time in our development, a time where we're top of the league, and he hasn't got the respect to shut his fucking mouth and just get on with things. So for that reason, mate, the gloves are off, and I'm quite happy to give my honest opinion on him. Moreno's third choice for me. I put Milner there ahead of Moreno. Moreno's like a cheap condom, said Evan Power. Wan-Bissaka is a good show, whoever made that one. Kigby. I remember when we played against Crystal Palace, loads of the Liverpool fans that I know of were kind of gushing about his performance, said how good he was playing. I'd rather play Adam Lewis than Moreno this season. Can't do any worse than him, said Furno. Moreno can fuck off and share a taxi to the airport with Lazar, said Stephen Richards. Right, a few other bits and pieces as well to go through. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. I'm sure you've probably heard about the news of Koulibaly being racially abused during the Inter-Napoli game. Well, that kind of goes a little bit further. It turns out that an Inter Milan fan died at that game, or in and around that game. 4 Napoli fans were stabbed in and around the game. Koulibaly was racially abused on numerous occasions throughout the game. And what have the Italian FA decided to do? They've looked at all of this and they've decided to make Inter Milan play 2 games behind closed doors. 2 fucking games. 1 person is dead, 4 people are stabbed, and one of the players on the field was racially abused on numerous occasions. And they think that making Inter Milan play a poxy 2 games behind closed doors is going to sort this out. Now look, I'm not going to claim to have a massive in-depth knowledge of Italian football, because I don't. What I do know is there is a culture of stabbing around games for away, particularly towards away fans in these fixtures. I know for a fact that fans have too much input in how clubs are run and they have too much power. I don't want to throw around the word mafia, but ultra is probably the best word to use. I know that players being racially abused is not a new thing in Italian football, and it's something that the authorities just cannot stamp out. So for me, this is nonsense. Absolute fucking nonsense. If you want to make an example and you want to make a stand, then you need to do a lot more than this. Italian football had its name dragged through the mud in decades gone by about match fixing, referees being paid off, various other things as well. And for this now, for racism, I mean, why is racism creeping back into football lately? Maybe it hasn't ever gone away, I don't know. But why is it suddenly creeping back in? We've seen Raheem Sterling be racially abused recently. We've seen Aubameyang have a banana thrown at him, for fuck's sake. Wasn't somebody else hit? No, that was Dele Alli, I think. Wasn't it? Yeah, Dele Alli was hit with a bottle recently as well. Not saying that that was racially motivated, because I don't know if it was or not. Then you have Koulibaly, who was clearly racially abused. Brewster, I think at one point was as well. We had the Liverpool younger players in the UEFA, the Youth Champions League. One of those was racially abused as well. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is before we talk about anywhere else in Europe or other players. The Italian FA, FIFA, UEFA, all football's governing bodies need to fucking stamp this shit out. People cannot be fucking stabbed going to a football match. Look what happened when we played Roma last year. We all know the story, what happened to poor Sean Cox and his family, and what they've had to endure since that vicious, heinous attack, unprovoked attack. Because that's the culture in and around Italian football. So this can't go on in that either. This is the beautiful game. Italian football has a beautiful history to it as well. I mean, the art of defending is almost Italian. It's beautiful. I love Italian football. At the moment, they're going through a bit of a transition period with where their teams are. I mean, we've said before, football is cyclical, and the money is now in the Premier League. The money used to be in Serie A in the 90s and stuff. But they're coming back around now. Juventus are a very, very strong side. Napoli, as we know, of the games we played against them, a very good side. And Roma as well, of course, another good side. Inter Milan now have some new money behind them, and they're starting to come through. But this can't go on. They need to stamp this shit out, and giving Inter Milan 2 games behind closed doors is bullshit. It's just a slap on the wrist. Did anybody else see this? Has anybody else read up on this story? Because I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Or maybe there's somebody out there who knows a little bit more about Italian football than I do. I know Roberto Bestwick, if he's watching or if he's around, he's a Juventus fan that watches it frequently. Hello Mark from the United Stand said hi in today's stream, said Shay. If you said hi to us, then thank you, Mark. It's weird, isn't it? We've kind of had a little today, then that's brilliant. Thank you so much for that one. These streams make my day until I hear the name Moreno. Sorry about that, pal. Moreno is as useless as my YouTube channel. It's a cryptic game, and Jesus, mate, come on, don't be harsh on yourself. I'm sure our YouTube channel is sound. AA is different to all the other media fan channels, said Pepper Red. Thank you, pal. It's really kind of you. And if anybody else thinks so and anybody else is watching, please do hit that subscribe button. We're 9 subscribers away from 6.5k. It would be lovely to do it on tonight's stream and then try and push ahead towards the 7. So if you are watching, guys, and you want to do me a little favour, please do hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching and you've already done so, you guys know the drill by now. Drop a like on the stream if you can. My birthday is soon. It'll be a great present if we beat Arsenal. I hope we do, pal. I'm very confident going into that game. I just want to get some more opinions on this Italian thing, and then we will get stuck into transfers. We will get stuck into the whole build up to the Arsenal game, because it's building up to be a cracking game. I don't like giving a crap about any of our players, but his comments are bang out of order, said Willow. It's all out of control, Craig. Just disgusting, said Charlene, with regards to Italian football. Craig just said I'd pop in and say hello, visiting the family for a few days. I'll be on tomorrow night when I get home. Hope you had a great Christmas, mate. Thank you, Tom. I had a wonderful Christmas, pal, and I hope you did too. It was nice and quiet, which is exactly what I needed. Italian football is a mess, said Norbert Chong. Salah tweeted about it, which is spot on, Rian. He did. Really good shout, that, mate. I'd forgotten about that one. He did. He tweeted about it and in support of Koulibaly, which is a beautiful thing. And again, just goes to show he is one of football's good guys. We spoke about it tonight. We spoke about it last night as well. Mo Salah is just one of life's good guys. How did the fan die? I honestly don't know, mate. My wife mentioned something about being hit by a bus. Now, I don't know exactly if that was the case or not. So I don't want to speculate what is the man's life I'm talking about. Just that's what I heard. I don't know. UEFA or FIFA need to step in there, said John Hamilton. Until teams are either kicked out of the league or given a massive points deduction, it's never going to change, said Christopher. Italians are well-known racists. I mean, World War II, said Sean. Inter should be relegated for that shy. To be fair, it isn't just Inter though. That's the thing. If we were just talking about yesterday, yes, it was the Inter fans that racially abused Koulibaly. There's no doubting about that. But it's not just, when it comes to stabbing and attacks and stuff, it isn't Inter Milan's fans. They aren't solely responsible for that carry on. Fan was hit by a car, I think, said Brian Morrissey. Best YouTube channel I've watched ever. Well done, mate, said Adam Parks. That's so kind of you, mate. Thank you. It's just a community channel though, buddy. That's the thing. We're only good because of the amazing people that we have. I mean, all I really do on here is read your comments. So it's your comments that make the show good. So thank you for that. Inter Milan was ran over, I think, said LFC_5. Inter having 2 games behind closed doors, not enough for the shit that's happening, said Willow. Adam said, I don't think he dived. I gather that's with regards to Mo Salah. He didn't, mate. He was pulled back. Whether he went down too easily or not is one thing. Whether you think he went down too easy, that's one thing. But to accuse somebody of diving means that you're saying there was no contact and that he just completely simulated the entire thing. That clearly isn't the case. We've seen Mo Salah's arm being pulled back. We've already seen the referee, the ex-referee Darren McGallagher on Sky Sports News come out and say that he believes it was a penalty. It was the correct decision. Reports coming out that DT the nonce has said Salah should be ashamed of himself. Yeah, there's no fucking irony in that statement whatsoever, that DT believes that somebody else should be ashamed of themselves. I mean that's the funniest fucking sentence I've read, I think, on this entire stream. DT, the man who was 40 odd years of age with shit tattoos, and I keep going back to the tattoos because they really are bad, who goes around calling kids nonsense and talking about people's wages and putting people's parents down and talking about how much money he makes, thinks Salah should be ashamed of himself. The man who's part of a fan channel that basically takes the piss out of their own fans thinks that Mohamed Salah, a man who does nothing but good work in the world, should be ashamed of himself. I know what DT can do with himself, and it's go and fuck himself, because nobody cares what he has to say. He's made a show of himself in the whole situation around Mark Goldbridge at the moment and what's going on there, and their game against the United Stand channel. He's just one big mouth, and he hasn't got a pair of balls to back up the big mouth that he has. You missed out Chelsea fans singing being racially abused Sterling. I didn't, mate. I mentioned that one. And it was shocking. Absolutely disgusting, Adam, as you've said. A kid threw a bottle at Dele Alli. Good shot it was. Well, look, you've got to give credit for the aim, as you said, but at the same time, it should not be happening. Social tensions will always show its face in football, said Pepper Red. But it shouldn't, which is true. It is true. What worries me most in these situations, I've said it time and time again, is you've got young kids, the next generation of football fans going to these games, whether it be in London, Liverpool, Manchester, Milan, wherever the hell it might be. And these kids are seeing this type of behaviour and thinking that that's how you behave at a game of football. And thinking that it's okay to behave in a way that you would never behave in your normal daily life. You would never go into work or school and start throwing racism around or start calling people what we're speaking about here. So why is it okay inside a football stadium? And why should people think it's okay? It's not. It never was and it never will be. And it's up to us as fans, if we're inside stadiums, to call our own fans out on this shit if we see it happening. It's disgusting. It wouldn't happen in real life, this is real life, but it wouldn't happen in any other environment. It wouldn't happen in a pub, it wouldn't happen at a restaurant, it wouldn't happen at most other music or sporting events. It has to be stamped out of the sport. We've had a lot of stuff lately about the LGBT community and homophobia in football and all wonderful stuff that needs to be brought to the public's attention, and it needs to be highlighted. And there's been some great stuff done about it. The Rainbow Laces campaign and other things were fantastic. We need more of that stuff. But at the same time, racism is unfortunately something that's rearing its ugly head again in the sport, and it needs to be stamped out quickly. Who said Sean Cox died? Oh, Evan. He didn't die. He's not dead. Oh God, no, he's not dead. He's actually, there's been some good news coming out around Sean Cox recently. I believe he is eaten for the first time recently, which is wonderful. No, he most certainly did not die. God, and I don't believe I said he did. I'm fairly sure I didn't say he died because I know he didn't. Craig, I'm getting my pot of my finger as I fractured it. I don't know what you're trying to say there, buddy. You're getting something off your finger as you fractured it, but it's better now. Well, I hope it goes well, buddy, and I'm glad to hear your finger's better. DT is a nonce, GFN or shite. Markovic can fuck off along with Mighty Red, said Louis. Don't even get me started on Mighty Red, pal. Don't even get me started on that lad. DT is a joke. Torreira dived and was booked for it. Craig, did you watch the championship last round, especially Leeds and Norwich? I didn't see it. No, I was doing a live stream at the time, Amir. I've seen the goal since, and Leeds just are not giving up, are they? Against Villa and then again yesterday in the game, they're just not giving up. Like the stream if you've gotten, you've got to get it to 100. To Tom Jones, DT acts like a child. Who are you talking about? Probably DT, James, if you're wondering who I was calling an idiot with shit tattoos. Funny thing is, Torreira dived in the game in the recent video, so DT is just a bad apple. Look, I don't mean to keep coming back to this guy, but he comes up on almost every stream. He is an idiot, an absolute idiot. It's crowd mentality. Joseph said, yes, he did dive. Well, bad. If you're talking about Salah, mate, he didn't dive, clearly, because you mustn't understand what diving means if you think he dived. I don't know if you're talking about him or somebody else in this situation, but if you're talking about Salah, he clearly didn't dive. Diving means there was no contact, pal. Love your show, Craig. Keep up the good work, said Thelson Mitchell. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Always nice to hear some people are enjoying things. And what else have we got? Fabinho and Keita will 100% start against Arsenal. Both rested against Newcastle, said Ferno. Tommy Wami said Sean Cox to lift the Premier League trophy. It would be a nice touch if he could be there at least, wouldn't it? You know, obviously health permitting. I've witnessed people using the words, I don't know what to say the words, of football. It angers me because the words I've thrown at me every day as I grew up as a kid with CP. It's disgusting. Craig, is Emery going to get a touchline ban? He has been charged. I don't know what will result from the charge, but he has tonight been charged by the FA for kicking that bottle. And in fairness to Unai Emery, he tried to apologise after he did it, and he did again after the game. The man seems like a very nice fella. But if you charge Jose Mourinho for doing it, you've got to do the same to Emery, even if he did apologise. I'm sure they'll be lenient with him because he immediately regretted his actions. But, you know, you do have to show some consistency. What else we got? Fabinho, Hendo and Gini left Fabinho at the Arsenal defence, and Graham Holmes. Guys, we are 10 subscribers away from 6.5k, so if you're watching, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be lovely to get there on this stream. We've got about 40 minutes left on the stream, so we need 10, so one every 4 minutes would be amazing. What part of Ireland are you from? I'm from Carlow, said James. Mate, I'm originally from Dublin, but I live in Wexford now. Craig, it's the plastic splint bandage to my fingers as I fractured it a couple of weeks ago. It's now better. Class. Delighted to hear that. It was a soft penalty 100%, which I agree with. It was a soft penalty. I would have had no problem if the penalty hadn't been given, don't get me wrong. Where I'm just drawing the line at is that it was a dive. Mignolet was talking shite about Jurgen at the start of the season, and now he's saying good things about him. Do you think it means he wants the gaffer to get Mignolet's move quicker? Mignolet won't be moving until the end of the season, but you know he's not going to move till we bring in a replacement. And I think Jurgen Klopp has said he wasn't willing to let two keepers leave. He'd already let Karius go to Besiktas. He couldn't let Mignolet leave as well. Who do you think the next big signing is? I will lead on to that one very soon, buddy. Don't worry. I know I'll keep holding you back on this one, but I just wanted to get through the Italian stuff and that as well, and then we can have the last part of the stream talking about transfers. Because that's where the big news is. That's where we love talking about. I love transfers. I was going to be a dick and say, well, hold off on the transfers till we hit the 6.5k, but that would just be me being a dick, and I don't want to do that. But I really would love to hit 6.5k on this stream. Reckon Firmino could get a few versus Arsenal, said Will. What else have we got? Where in Dublin are you from? Originally I'm from Shankill, mate, South Dublin. What's your prediction for the Arsenal game? I'm going for a 2-1 win. I'm going for a 3-1 win, maybe even a little bit more. Cameron, I might be being greedy, but I honestly think they're there for the beating. I think their defence is gettable, or gettable at, I should say. Their attack is class. Look, we can't argue otherwise. They are very good going forward, but we're also very good in defence. We're at home. We've got momentum behind us. I just think we might have Arsenal at the right time, so I can see us winning the game by at least 2. And that might be being a bit big-headed, but honestly, I think sometimes teams are just made to play against, and I think Arsenal for us just suits what we do. Going to head off now. Talk to you tomorrow. Take care, mate. I think Genie fits in our midfield in all positions in Klopp's style of play. Genie is very, very versatile. Absolutely, he can play in a number of positions throughout our midfield, and yeah, he's come on leaps and bounds this year. The level that he's brought his game up to has been tremendous. Kane, Salah and Mane would be immense, said Norbert Chong. Craig, what's your thoughts on those rumours about us getting new sponsorship deals and trying to sign with Liverpool? I don't know what to think about them, mate. With regards to New Balance and the kit manufacturers, if we were to get a new deal there, we would have to buy out our existing deal because we have at least 1 year left on it that I'm aware of. So, and there's another way to look at this as well. If Liverpool end this deal with New Balance, obviously it's FSG that are in control. Now FSG are a Boston-based group, and I believe New Balance are a Boston-based company. And with FSG having a portfolio of sports teams and entertainment stuff, they probably wouldn't want to piss off New Balance too much, because they probably want to have a good working relationship with them going forward. So I honestly don't know what to make of it. I really don't like the idea of us using Nike as a kit manufacturer, because I just don't like Nike and I don't think it suits Liverpool. Adidas would be nice to go back to, but you know, when you're looking at Adidas and Nike, I think a lot of the kits are just the same kits rolled out over and over again with different badges on them. And New Balance is, I like it. I like New Balance. But whatever brings in the most money to the club and whatever helps the club is sound with me. These days between games really drag. I just want us to play, said Peter McPeeface. I know, I feel like such a spoiled brat, mate. Earlier on I was looking and I was going, fucking hell, 2 more days until we play. Jesus Christ, 3 days between games, that's a fucking shocking. Yeah, you get a little bit spoiled, don't you, when they're coming thick and fast. What's your opinion on Harry Wilson? Should he join the squad next season and accept the squad role, or send him back out on loan for regular game time? It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one, Dante, and we've spoken about him a few times, because he can't really do much more than he's currently doing as Derby. He's scoring fantastic goals. I mean, the free kicks he's scoring are out of this world. But the step up to Liverpool Football Club is a big, big step. I would like to see him get another year on loan, personally, but at a Premier League club, at a decent level, because I need to see if he can cope in this league. But he clearly has talent, so it's a very tough call for the manager to make. Do you think we will try out that Irish keeper eventually? I sincerely hope so, Tony, because I think Caoimhín Kelleher is a decent keeper. I would like to see him get promoted next year to be a reserve keeper, but I know a lot of people want a more experienced keeper there. I just think I'm of the mindset of, what's the point in having them? What's the point in bringing through Danny Ward? What's the point in bringing through Caoimhín Kelleher or Grabara or any of these keepers if they're not going to get a chance at some point? You'd imagine if they're at Liverpool Football Club, then they must be a decent goalkeeper. And yes, I can understand that sometimes you're not going to get a chance to stake the #1 shirt. I mean, you're going to have a proven goalkeeper, but as a backup, I'd be fine with Caoimhín Kelleher. Aubameyang is going to get pocketed by Big Virg. Liverpool 5, Arsenal 0, said Somali Dalid, excuse me. Hello, said Andros Townsend. How are you, sir? Whoever is paying the most money for the kits counts. That's true. That's what all it'll boil down to, mate. Whoever gives the best deal to the clubs and whoever will benefit Liverpool more going forward. Charlene, talk to you soon, buddy. New Balance kits are made in West Cumbria, where I am. Hope they keep my fellow Cumbrians in work, said Joanne Fisher. I like New Balance kits, Joanne. I think they're nice. I like all the stuff that they've come out with for Liverpool. I've got a pair of the New Balance shoes. That's why I keep looking up there on top of my wardrobe. And yeah, I like the kits. Mina is better than Van Dijk. Of course he is. Of course he is. The Barcelona reject is better than Virgil van Dijk, the world's best defender. Yes, mate, and of course he is. And Dina's a better left back as well than Andy Robertson, and also Jordan Pickford's a better goalkeeper than Alisson Becker. Richarlison is better than Mo Salah as well, and anybody else you want to pick, I'll just keep agreeing with you because you're such a well run, fantastic club that we look up to and aspire to be like someday. Said nobody ever. Kade will have a masterclass against Arsenal, said Ferno. Mina is a Poundland, Kurt Zuma. There you go. Pepperetta's nailed it. Would you take a scrappy 1-0 win at this point? Or would take a scrappy 1-0 win? Absolutely. I would take 19 more scrappy 1-0 wins, mate. VVD is the best centre-back in the world. Richarlison is not better than Firmino. Shut the fuck up. That's a ridiculous comment. Richarlison is a one-trick pony. He does that trick okay when he's not getting sent off and yellow carded for being petulant. But Bobby Firmino is twice the player Richarlison is or will ever be. That's a ridiculous statement. Ridiculous statement. You're just embarrassing yourself now, pal. Right, guys, on the transfers. Now, let's move towards them. First things up, want to talk about Christian Pulisic. You know, you've heard me talking about this guy time and time again, and how much I've wanted them to come to the club and how much I believe it made sense. Well, the odds have been slashed on him joining Liverpool by numerous bookies, but the one I went to have a look at in particular was Paddy Power, and they've moved him from 14-1 down to 7-2, and this hasn't gone unnoticed in the media. I think it's the Mirror. And a couple of other newspapers have kind of ran with this story, and it seems like it could be edging closer. I don't want to say it will happen because I honestly don't know. But I think it will. I've always thought this deal made sense on so many levels, and for other people and bookies to be slashing their odds, and I've said before, you cannot back the bookies. You just can't believe what they come out with. They don't know everything, but there's too many things that make sense about this deal for me to believe it's true. And Roberto, I don't remember ever saying Richarlison wasn't decent, but comparing him to Firmino is fucking ridiculous, mate. Absolutely ridiculous. There's a reason why he's playing at Everton and Firmino's playing at Liverpool, because that's his fucking level. Anyway, sorry, back to the transfers. Christian Pulisic to Liverpool. I think this one will happen. I honestly believe it'll happen. I've no idea when, money, I've no inside information on it. It's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think about that one. Again, there's more to get through though. Manchester City are looking to, I won't say hijack, but they're targeting that guy is a Houssem Aouar from Lyon. It's believed he's valued at 60 million quid, and it's been said that Manchester City have stepped up their interest in him. Now look, that's not unusual. They need somebody in that position. They've been linked to a few players. Aouar being the most recent one, I suppose. 60 million was the figure mentioned in the article I read. I don't know how true that is, and I don't know if Manchester City are monitoring him. I don't know. He's somebody that's made the headlines recently, been linked to Liverpool and a few other clubs in Europe, and he's put in some fantastic performances this year for Lyon. Other than that, we have what else have we got in the transfer news? Oh yes, Liverpool are willing to let Daniel Sturridge and Divock Origi leave the club in January, making space for the signing of Timo Werner, according to reports. Now, I've pulled this one from Sports Illustrated. I've no idea, again, how true it is or not, but we spoke about Timo Werner a few times, and a lot of people would like to see him at Liverpool, and I would as well. I think Timo Werner would fit in perfectly with what Jurgen Klopp is doing and the style of football that we play. He can play across the front three, which is something that I think most players that Klopp brings in can do. He's a versatile player. He can play wide if he needs to be. He can play through the centre, and he could probably drop deeper as well. He's progressing slowly at Leipzig. He kind of burst through, had that really good season, and then when Germany went to the World Cup, he was expected to shine, but of course Germany were shite at the World Cup, so he didn't really get a chance to shine. He's doing okay again this season for Leipzig. I haven't been keeping an eye on his numbers, to be honest, but I would like to see him at Liverpool. I'd have no problem with us going and signing him. And yeah, if that meant us moving Daniel Sturridge and Divock Origi on, then look, so be it. I mean, Origi probably hasn't got a future at the club anyway. I think he's 18 months left on his deal, and it doesn't look like we're going to be giving him another one. Daniel Sturridge, his deal runs out at the end of the season. Nobody knows what to expect now because of the whole thing around his his betting charge or his possible betting charge. I think that's he's asked for more time on that one, and that's been put back till March or April or something. So he may get the season out of that before any ruling is given on that one. So I suppose the three big stories there tonight that I've gone through, and two of them are really Liverpool related, and one is about who Liverpool have been loosely linked to, but I haven't seen anything concrete on that one. And the other two are Christian Pulisic and Timo Werner. The Pulisic one for me is the one that always makes the most sense. We've spoken about it from a marketing perspective, what FSG could do with this guy, how we could open up potential merchandising markets and stuff in America or North America. But more than that, I think he's a player at 20 years of age who still has a lot of development left in him. And I think working with Jurgen Klopp would do fantastically well for his career. They've worked together before. Klopp speaks very well about him. He speaks, I think, has he said, hang on, I'm trying to think something through. Pulisic has said that he believes the Premier League is the best league and a league that he wants to play in. A lot of people believe that some of the hard yards were done in this deal last summer on the tour of America, and that there were meetings held then, and kind of, I won't say a deal was put in place, but that the foundations were laid for something to happen. Now, Chelsea have been very strongly linked with Christian Pulisic as well, and they need a forward, that's no secret. So I wouldn't be surprised for them to throw a lot of money at the guy as well, because their need is probably greater than ours. We could probably afford to miss out on him and go and get somebody else. Lorenzo Insigne, I never believed that link to Liverpool whatsoever. But that's the info I have anyway. Gonna go in now and see how you guys are feeling. Leipzig won't sell mid-season. At best, we can agreement for the summer with Werner, said Cahill. I agree with that one as well. Oh, Mark is in. How are you? Merry Christmas to you all. Here's the 10k subs in the new year. Thank you very much, Mark. Really kind of you, pal. You're heading towards 350 yourself soon, so congratulations to you. Thank you for coming in and dropping in and saying hello. Very nice of you. I hope you have a wonderful new year as well, mate, and I hope you and the family had a nice Christmas. And thank you for having us on recently as well. Hopefully when we play you guys again in March, I think it's March, maybe we can do it again, but thanks for dropping in, Mark. Solanke could be very good, said Sean. What else have we got? Some rival fans honestly delusional. Salah is saying no to racism on Twitter, and you get West Ham fans, Manchester City fans and United fans saying you're a diving nonce under that picture. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say. Any fan, regardless of their club, to say that is ridiculous. I mean, there's banter and there's just pure stupidity. And there's a lot of good United fans, a lot of good City fans. Well, there's a few. A lot of good Arsenal fans, a lot of good Spurs fans who talk sense. But unfortunately, there are arseholes that just make a show of the rest of them as well. What else have we got? Solanke needs game time somewhere. 100% he's going to be loaned out. I agree with that, Cahill. Solanke he's not getting the time at Liverpool, and I think there's a footballer in there, and I think Jurgen Klopp believes there's a good footballer in there. And yes, I do believe he should be sent out on loan. Yeah, it's tough though. We'd have to bring somebody in for that to be the case. Everyone dives, said Roberto, which is true. Every club has players that dive. I said that earlier on in the stream. Liverpool, let's not be naive about this. We've dived before. Yes, of course we have. Roberto, mate, you're only in a bit late. I wanted to ask you about something earlier on in the stream. We've seen that Inter Milan have been ordered to play 2 games behind closed doors because of 4 Napoli fans that were stabbed at the game. Obviously an Inter fan died and there was racist abuse towards Koulibaly. I want to know, mate, your thoughts on that. As somebody who watches Italian football week in and week out, I want to know your thoughts on that particular incident, and I'd love to know your thoughts on the way Italian football is moving these days, and whether this is endemic within the game in Italy, which I believe it is. The racism, by the way, I think is. But yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, Roberto. You weren't around earlier on when we covered that one. PC Benjamin, sir, how are you? Great to have you with us. I hope you had a lovely Christmas. Where else have we got? Why are we all calling each other virgins all of a sudden? Rival fans are forcing the Liverpool agenda. Let's be honest, they probably only hate Liverpool because their mates hate Liverpool. I don't know. I don't understand the hate towards Liverpool. I understand United fans and Everton fans not wanting us to win the league. I mean, that's natural. But some of the hate and bullshit that's coming out from other fans is just ridiculous. Has anybody seen the photos of Trent Alexander-Arnold in an Everton shirt as a kid? No. No problem with that whatsoever, though. Some of the best Liverpool players throughout the years have been Everton fans, mate. Doesn't make a difference to us. They come to this club, put on that red shirt and fall in love. They realise what a big club it is, and they realise how silly they were to have been a blue as a kid. But that's okay. We've converted them, mate. It's all good. I heard Karius will come back to Liverpool. I don't think he will. That's a loan to buy deal, and as long as he plays X amount of games and certain conditions are met, then I believe he will move to Besiktas full time. With Solanke, it feels like we're playing with 10 men. Brewster is better. Well, look, none of us really know what Raheem, do you hear me? Excuse me, what Raheem Brewster is capable of. He's very highly thought of. He's done really, really good things in underage football, but until he makes a step up, it's always a little bit of a gamble. I think he'll be fantastic as well, Ferno, mate, so I'm not disagreeing with you. And he obviously has been given a little bit of a nod by Jurgen Klopp, because he wouldn't have signed the deal to stay here if he didn't. Solanke is 21, not a kid anymore. Liverpool won't sign anybody in January unless injuries. Happy squad. What else have we got? Solanke for Liverpool last season, 1 goal. Origi for Liverpool last season, 0 goals. Ferno, Solanke's on a different level. Okay, lads, you're on a wind up here or something. Do you think Pulisic could get PFA Young Player of the Year at Liverpool? I haven't got a clue, mate. That's a good question, but I haven't got a clue. If he came to Liverpool next year, would he be too old for it? Because he won't be coming. He won't be coming in January. If they sign him, it'll be for the summer. And I'm not sure what the cut-off point of that one is, if I'm being honest. I think it's 21, is it? Or is it 23? I'm not sure. Jamie Carragher was an Everton fan when he was young, as was Robbie Fowler, I think, as was Steve McManaman. Was it Robbie Fowler or Michael Owen? And Steve McManaman as well. There's been a few of them. I don't know why. I don't think we'll get Fekir in January. What's your thoughts? I agree, Louis. I think I keep saying the same thing. I think if we were going to get him, we'd have done it in the summer. Doing it mid-season now makes no sense to me. But, you know, stranger things have happened, so I don't know. Racism is a crime. It is a crime, mate. Racist abuse is definitely a crime. Yes, it's a hate crime. It's disgusting. Nothing is happening. Only peanuts of punishments. 3-game bans. If the racist chants anywhere in the game should be stopped, and the people responsible should be locked up. Glad to hear you say that, mate. It is absolutely disgusting, and there's no place for it in society, let alone in sport. CD Reggae said, I'm a Serie A fan, and I think about the racist thing. It's unacceptable, and Inter should have gotten a 5-game ban. Closed doors in Serie A football is pretty entertaining and dramatic. When I watch Serie A recently, it seems to be boring, and then right at the end, drama. Whether it be a late goal or a penalty or whatever it is, there seems to be an awful lot of late goals in Serie A for some reason. Okay, something else. The thing that pisses me off even more is that nothing is going to happen. It'll carry on, which is disgusting, said Roberto. It has to be stamped out of the game. It just has to be. And I'm not just pointing fingers at Italy here, because we've had our own incidents in the UK recently. Speaking about outgoings, I think Milner will go to Leeds if they get promoted. They're his boyhood club. That's been mentioned a few times, Cahill, and look, we couldn't deny it. If he wanted to go to Leeds and end his career there if they got promoted, it would be an awfully fucking cold man that wouldn't let him. So I'd imagine, you know, he'd be allowed to go. I would imagine. When is the ads? I need a can from the fridge and the wife's in bed. I haven't got a clue, mate. I don't even know, is there ads on a live stream? I haven't got a clue. I know if people are watching it back, there'll be ads. Pulisic will come in January, said Scotty. I don't think he will, mate. I think if they sign him, he'll come in the summer. But again, I'd love to be wrong. We have 20 minutes left on tonight's stream, guys, and we need 9 subscribers. So if you're watching, please do hit that button. 9 little subscribers away from 6.5k, and of course drop a like on the stream as well if you can. My ideal transfer window is Gomez returning. What else we got? Atlanta versus Juve. It changed for me, actually. An exciting game, but agreed Italian football is pretty boring. Salah wants to go to Leeds. He does. It's nailed on. Nailed on. Lenny, I'm on the fence with you, buddy. I don't know if you're funny or just a git. I can't tell you. I don't know either way. I don't know if you're being funny and I'm misjudging you, or if you're being a bit of an asshole. But I'm going to let it go a little bit further because I'm intrigued. No ads on live stuff, said Sean. And you know what? I'm fucking glad about that. Because if you guys get to come on here and watch live, I'm so glad you don't have to watch ads. Those people who watch it back later on, I mean, if you're watching this and it isn't playback, I mean, watch the ads. It's the only bit of income we get. So do watch the ads if they're there. Because, you know, I used to believe that, you know, when the ad comes and you have to watch 10 seconds of it, say it's a 30-second ad, you've got to watch 10 seconds, and then it says click to move on. I used to think that that actually meant they got paid for some of the ad, but you don't. Apparently you don't get paid unless somebody watches the entire ad. That's how new to this shit I am. Milner started there, and who are we to deny him if he wants to finish his career there, Craig, said Willow. Agree, mate. I mean, you'd be an awfully cold man to say no to him. No ads on the stream from Philadelphia. Thank you very much, mine. Always a pleasure to have you on, pal. From the city of brotherly love. My favourite TV show, or one of them, was filmed in your city, and I think you know which one I'm talking about. Milner underrated. He's such a class hard worker, said Roberto. He's brilliant, mate. Love him. So happy to have him at this football club. It's been a pleasure watching him play. Dortmund are signing Hazard in January. That must mean replacing Pulisic. I mentioned that one a little bit earlier on, Neil. Yeah, they are looking to bring Thorgan Hazard in from Borussia Mönchengladbach. He's 25 years of age. I've no idea what the transfer fee might be. I think I've seen 35 mentioned somewhere, but look, that could be absolute nonsense. But it makes sense. It does make sense. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is doing really, really well as well at Dortmund. So if it does happen, then yeah, it probably does look like Pulisic could be moving on. Lenny said, I'm being funny, guys. Liverpool are miles better than Everton. It's been clear for years. Good, mate. I'm glad, because I thought that was the case. I remember you from a few days ago, and I thought you were just being taking the piss a bit tonight, because you seem like a sound fella. I think Fekir would be better in the number 10 role, but would still love Pulisic. That's a good point. And I have to be honest, if you were to say to me, look, Craig, we need a player for next season, which player is going to have more influential role in that season, I would probably say Nabil Fekir. But I just think Christian Pulisic has a higher ceiling than Fekir, and I believe he could go on to be a better player. But look, I would be happy with any of those two guys. Either of those two at the club would be fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And just think, if we had got Fekir in the summer and we have Shaqiri playing as well as he is now, we would be just, well, we're unstoppable now, but we'd be even more unstoppable. Gerrard, Keegan, Barnes, Souness, Dalglish, Suarez, Salah, Hansen, VVD, too many to say who is the best. Absolutely. We've been spoiled as a club. Had some amazing footballers wear that red shirt over the years, and some amazing more to wear in the future. Where do you play him if he moved to Liverpool, Pulisic? Wide, probably as a wide forward, mate. But again, I wouldn't think of it in a sense that somebody has to be dropped. When you've got as many games as we have, you need 4 or 5 players to rotate in 3 positions. So I wouldn't look at it as him coming in to replace anybody. I'd look at it as him coming in to supplement their attack and allow us to rest and rotate people a little bit. Samuel Greenland from Toronto, Canada said, you'll never walk alone. Good job, lad. Thank you, Samuel. I haven't been in Toronto for 13 years, but love it over there. My wife has family over in Mississauga, which I think is just outside Toronto, if memory serves me correct. But I love it, and I plan on going back there very soon. Have a guess what? The Reds are 6 points clear. Hell yeah. 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League. 7 points clear of Manchester City. Any turkey left? Do you know how bad I am, Floating Fox? I only cooked our Christmas dinner today. There you go. We were up at our in-laws on Christmas Day, so obviously they cooked Christmas dinner for us that day, which was lovely. But yesterday, Boxing Day, is usually the day we'd make our family dinner. But because I had a live stream to do, I didn't get a chance to make the turkey and the ham and all that stuff, because it takes hours and hours and hours of preparation, and I wanted to come on and do a live stream. And actually I think I did 3 live streams yesterday. I think I made I think I made about 5 hours of content yesterday. So I didn't get a chance to make dinner, and thankfully I have the best wife in the world who didn't mind me putting it off until today, and then I cooked a big fancy dinner today. So there you go. I gave you guys my fucking Stevens's Day dinner to come on and do the stream with you. And I only need 5 Poxy subscribers. Just 5 of them to hit 6,500. 5 of them. I mean, I've given up my dinner for you people. Come on, 5 of yous. I didn't really give it up. I absolutely nailed it today though. Stuffed my fat face full of ham. Joining late, mate. A lot of Arsenal fans have been jumping on the Salah dive. Seem to forget about Torreira going down with no contact at all against Brighton. Understand why they want Mo banned. Look, there's a simple answer to this. He didn't dive. Whether you think it was a penalty or not, I absolutely understand that argument. I mean, I will probably say I think it was a harsh penalty, but that doesn't mean he dived. There's very, very clear rules around accusing somebody of diving. Diving seems to mean, in my interpretation, that there's no contact, or that you looked for the contact. He was pulled back. Salah's arm was grabbed. It's there, it's clear to see. The video shows that clearly. So if you're arguing about him not deserving a penalty, fine. That's a different argument. But to call him a diver is just ridiculous. We're talking about a player here who stayed on his feet while Steve Cook raked his studs down the guy's fucking leg. And he still stood up and went through on goal and scored. That's who Mo Salah is. Mo Salah is the player that rounded Ospina and could have went down but stayed on his feet. But yet they call this guy a diver. A guy who has gone out of his way to stay on his feet. Ridiculous carry on. What else have we got? With Pulisic, I think he'll either play as a 10 or will switch to a 4-2-3-1 and play him as a right winger. Salah up top and drop Firmino in as the number 10, said Siraj. Makes sense, pal. Absolutely makes sense. That's the beauty of some of the players that we have though, isn't it? We've got that fluidity, or the options that the manager has available to him, because they can all play in numerous positions. It's something that you'd expect from any Jurgen Klopp signing. We very rarely buy anyone that's pigeonholed into just one position because, you know, he likes a footballer that's capable of moving around, and sometimes he switches our system up, and yeah, it's certainly a trait that we get with a Liverpool signing under Klopp. Any chance we could borrow Sabrina, said Tommy Wammy. Never, never. You can have anything in my life, mate. I'll lend you my last tenner, but the missus is never leaving, because I won't be able to replace her. Nobody else will put up with me. Craig, your wife sounds like she's an amazing woman. She is. She's the best in the world, mate, honestly. I don't know why she puts up with me or how she puts up with me, but she is absolutely amazing. The defender gave the ref a decision. They tell you to go down if you feel contact in the box, said Samuel. Deluded Arsenal fans, Salah belongs in the 3rd division. Fuck off. There's not one of their players fit to lace Mo Salah's boots, and they're talking about him being belonging in the 3rd division. Yet they have Liechtensteiner, who was 176 or something, playing at full back for them. And look, Liechtensteiner's a fantastic footballer, had a great career, was really good at Juventus, but he's way past his fucking day now. And they've Granit Xhaka in their team as well, by the way. Granit Xhaka is basically the Swiss Bruno Cheru. He's fucking awful. I'd love us to sign 2 Mark signings in January. Imagine the statement it would send out. I believe Pulisic is done, said Anthony Peters. That ex-ref saying Salah got a 2-game ban, wasn't he in some way controversy? The only thing I know, I think it's Mark Halsey is the one you're talking about. And the only thing I know about Mark Halsey is that he the referee that had testicular cancer, I think, and had to stop refereeing. I think you're talking about a false story that was put out there about him, where he was saying that he was told to either book or not book players or something like that, but I don't think that story is true. But yeah, he's also full of shit talking about Mo Salah. When you have another referee and saying that he absolutely did the right thing and it was a penalty. So this channel will be a huge success. We're all behind you, said Floating Fox. Thank you, mate. That's really kind. Honestly, that does mean the world to us, and this channel will only succeed if it's a community group effort, because that's what this is. This is a group channel. We'll give Arsenal a damn good thrashing. Don't like Arsenal fans, said James Doherty. Salah will be in the 3rd division when he's 100 years old. Liechtensteiner, way past it. Too old, don't get me wrong. Swiss Express was quality for us, but he's past it, said Roberto. Which he is. Let's be honest, he is. He's 34 or something like that. And he was a quality player. Right, guys, I am going to head off in about 10 minutes. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, please do let me know. Feel free to put it in the chat and we'll have a chat about it. But other than that, we've about 10 minutes left on tonight's stream. Halsey's story was in the Echo, Craig, said Anthony Peters. Thank you very much, pal. And again, we're 6 subs away. So again, if you're watching and you have a chance, please do hit that subscribe button. And of course, drop a like on the stream. Our numbers have been brilliant lately, guys. All our streams are hitting 1,500, 2,000 views, which for us is amazing. We were a few weeks ago, even a couple of months back, we were only getting 600-700 views. I say only, that was still brilliant. We're so proud of that one. But now, I don't know what's happened. Something has clicked. More people know about us or whatever. But yeah, we're doing really, really well. And I'm so proud to be a part of this. I'm so proud and honoured to be on here every night talking to such amazing people. And you guys have really helped me out over the last year, so thank you for that. Right, what else we got? Everyone subscribe if you haven't, said Bassett 12. We're only 4 away. It's like, you've no idea. I've nearly have a lump in my fucking throat looking at that. What else? Oh, 3 away. I can't look at it now. I'm gonna get would like to get another number 10. So if Firmino got injured, we could still play Shaqiri in his favourite position and not sub off Salah. Lineup versus Arsenal. Yeah, sure, why not? We might as well go through that one then for the last 10 minutes. For me, I would go, obviously, look, we don't even need to talk about the keeper. We know who that is. Right back, Trent. Centre backs, Van Dijk and Lovren. Left back, Andy Robertson. I think that pretty much picks itself. Unless anybody else has anything else on it, I absolutely think that picks itself. The midfield trio was the interesting one. For me, I would go with Fabinho, James Milner and Gini Wijnaldum. That's the midfield trio I'd like to see. I know a lot of people are probably expecting me to say Naby Keita, and I'd have no problem if he does play. I just want to make sure he's fully ready to go. So I'd probably go with Milner, Gini and Fabinho, and then I wouldn't change the front three. I would leave them exactly as they are. Tom Jones says, 2 likes off 100, the OCD is killing me. There you go. See, that doesn't bother me anywhere near as much as the 6497 that I'm currently looking at. That's killing me. I don't know what to believe anymore, said Anthony Peters. How would you approach the City game, mate? As they've no other option but to beat us. It's a tough one, Niall, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately over the past 24 hours, particularly since that one. The Arsenal game I want to get through more than anything. If we can get through that game with 3 points, then the City game is nearly a free hit. If we get out of that game, I would take a draw in that City game right now if you offered it to me. And people might say that that's defeatist, or people might say that you never go into games looking for a draw. And I'm not saying that we should go in looking for a draw. I'm saying if you offered me a point now, I would take it. Because it would still leave us with that gap over them. Yes, it would allow Spurs to close in by 2 points and have a 4-point gap, but I think Spurs are going to drop more points anyway, because as good as they are, they're a very good team, they're going to drop more points, the same as we are. So I think once we keep a buffer of 3 or 4 points, we're going to be sound. And after we play Manchester City away and Arsenal, we've Spurs at home, Chelsea at home, United away, and then I think that's it from what you would call the big 6. Everton away as well, but let's be honest, that's a gimme at Goodison Park. They'll think that they'll be great for an hour and then blah, blah, we'll beat them, and that'll be the end of that. That's just the way it is. That's the way the world goes. The world, oh my god, we've hit it. We've hit it. There you go. Fuck. Nice. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You've made my fucking Christmas period now. Thank you. Anyway, to go back to that one. I think, yeah, a point. I'd take a point, Niall. I'd love to know what you think, buddy, or how you'd approach it. But yeah, it's tough because they came to Anfield and they showed us ultimate respect and they almost pinched the game. They changed their philosophy completely. So I'm very interested to see how Pep Guardiola approaches that game as well, because they need a win. A draw's no good to them. So do we sit back and let them come on to us and hope to catch them? I'm sure Klopp was going to come up with a very interesting game plan. And these are the type of games I love, because you've 2 really good tactical managers there. Maybe 2 of the best in Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this one goes. But first things first, we've got to get through the game against Arsenal. Norbert Chong said, gonna be bigger than Redmen TV. Jesus Christ, that's a big ask. Those guys are monsters on here. Fucking 350,000 subscribers or something. I mean, they're absolute superstars on here. But look, if we just get to a point where some fans overseas know about us, because that's where we're pitching ourselves to. Let's make no mistake about this. We want to be the voice of the Liverpool fan that maybe can't get to as many games, or the Liverpool fan that's in America, or the Liverpool fan that's down in Belfast, or down in Norfolk, or like me here in Ireland. You have the Anfield Wrap and you've got Redmen TV, and they're Scousers through and through, and they get to go to the games and they interview people at the stadium, and they do it all brilliantly. They make fantastic content, and I've got the height of respect for the guys. Brilliant stuff. But we can never be that, because we're based in a different country for a start. I'm Irish. I don't have that Scouserness through and through. But what I can do is give a view as an overseas fan, or a fan from the outside that travels to games, that can't make it to as many as I'd like. And I think that there's millions of people around the world in the same position as I'm in, that their life revolves around this beautiful football club. You get to go over a couple of times a year if you're lucky, or maybe even once in your lifetime if you live in Australia or America or somewhere. Doesn't mean you care any less. It doesn't mean you love the club any less. Fucking hell, you can see in the comments here during game days how much it means to everybody. So that's where we're trying to go with this. We don't give a shit about interviewing Liverpool players or the manager or getting in with the club. Never been our ambition. Don't care less about it. All we give a shit about is you guys. The fans that are in different parts of the world: Germany, France, America, Australia, New Zealand, other parts of the UK, other parts of Ireland. You're the fans we want to go and get to know. That's what this channel's about. It's, I won't say the disenfranchised fans, but not the match day hardcore. That's generally where we're trying to pitch this channel at, because we know there's so many people like us that love the club, but unfortunately at times have to love it from a bit of a distance, and it kills us, because we'd all love to be at Anfield every single week. Fuck it, if I could get tickets to every home game, I would fly over to every single home game. That's how much I love the club. So yeah, that's where we're trying to go. That's the kind of long and short of where this channel is going. We want to travel. So as I said, we're going to come over in May and we're going to meet some people. I think we're going to try and travel up to Newry to meet the Newry Supporters Club in the next month or so, and hopefully film a game up there. And we're willing to travel to America. We're willing to travel to Germany, to France, to the UK. If there's people there that want us to come over, film how they spend their match day with the supporters club or the group of mates, that's what this channel is about. That's what we want to do. We're happy to come over. If you've got a group of 10 of your mates or 8 of your mates that go to a particular pub to watch a game, let us know. We'll fly over, we'll book ourselves into a cheap hotel, and we'll come and spend the day with you guys, film ourselves watching a game, film the reactions, interview you, get to know your thoughts, and let you guys give your little pitch to the Liverpool fans, and let them know about your supporters, and let them know if you're ever in your city, where to go, what pub to go watch the game in, where the local Reds meet. All this, it would be, how amazing would it be if we could form this, like, I won't say global community, because that's a bit big-headed to say, but this little network of Liverpool fans. So, you know, if you're in Dublin, you come here. If you're in London, we meet here and here. If you're in California, come here. If you're in Toronto, come here. If you're in Germany, come here. That's my dream for this channel, that we can create that little community of Liverpool fans that we may get to meet each other once in our lifetimes, we may never do, but if, say, Anthony Peters in our stream, or Brian is in our stream and he's gone over to France, well, he knows that he can go to Paris, go to this pub, watch the game, and maybe meet somebody he's spoken to on the stream before. Knowing that a couple of people have done that would be unbelievable for me. That would just make my life complete. It would be brilliant. So that's where we're trying to go with the channel. And thank you to everyone that helped us out tonight. I know there's probably some of you out there who've subscribed on your second account or whatever, so thank you for that. It means a lot that we've got to 6,500 on the stream. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll have a proper look ahead to the Arsenal game. We'll dedicate the entire stream to it. We'll talk about formations, we'll talk about 11s, we'll talk about transfers, we'll talk about who to worry about from an Arsenal perspective, we'll talk about the referee, we will talk about everything. Until then, guys, thank you so much as always for joining us. Love to each and every one of you. If you're with your families, as I say, tell them you love them, let them know. It's important, they want to know. And look after yourselves. And if you're travelling anywhere, be safe, take your time, and make sure you leave plenty of time to get there. There's never any rush. Getting there is the most important thing. On behalf of myself and Connor, love to all of you. Thank you so much for your time again. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Up the motherfucking Reds.